Hi boys and girls, I'm going to be reading to you the Aristocats. Now I like this story because I have two cats of my own, and I hope you like this as much as I do. In a grand house in Paris, there lived a lady named Madame Bonfamille, who had an elegant cat named Duchess, and three kittens, Berlioz, Toulouse, and Marie. But these were no ordinary cats. They were very civilized. Each day, the kittens had art and music lessons. So you can grow up to be lovely, charming ladies and gentlemen, Duchess liked to say. The cats loved their home, and they brought Madame such joy that she decided her entire fortune would go to them after she died. Cats, the butler Edgar sputtered when he overheard Madame talking to her lawyer. It's not fair. He decided to get rid of the cats so the money would be left to him instead. As he warmed the cat's cream that afternoon, he mixed in some sleeping pills. Duchess and her kittens lapped up the cream, and before long they were fast asleep. Then Edgar put them in a basket and drove them far, far away. When Duchess and her kittens awoke, they were in the countryside far from home. "Mama, I'm afraid," Marie cried. "I want to go home." Now, my darling," Duchess said. She tried to comfort her scared little kitten, but she was frightened too. What would they do next? The sky grew dark and raindrops splattered against the ground. The cats ducked inside their basket. "What's going to happen to us?" Toulouse asked, peering out at the storm. Duchess drew her kittens close. "Darlings, I just don't know." They were all alone. Hours passed, and soon the dark skies brightened. Duchess stretched, then quietly jumped from the basket. The sun was shining, but they were still in a strange place, far from Madame and their friends Frau the horse and Roquefort the mouse. Here in the country, Duchess didn't know anyone. Then she met an alley cat named Thomas O'Malley. "Your eyes are like the sapphires," he said smoothly, trying to charm her. Duchess gazed at him. They were as different as two cats could be. Still, she liked the way O'Malley walked and talked. Could he be the friend they needed? "I'm in a great deal of trouble," Duchess explained. "It is most important that I get back to Paris. Would you show me the way?" "Show you the way," O'Malley repeated with a laugh. "We shall fly to Paris on a magic carpet side by side, just we two." Then Marie leaped out of the basket. "3," said O'Malley, eyes wide with surprise. Then Berlioz popped out. 4, and finally Toulouse. 5? O'Malley stepped back. "Well, now, he paused. "What I meant, you see." Duchess realized that the alley cat wasn't going to be the friend she hoped he'd be. She and her family began to walk away. When they heard O'Malley shout, "Hold up there!" Duchess and the kittens stopped. A few minutes later, all 5 cats waited by the road as a milk truck drove toward them. "One magic carpet coming up," O'Malley announced. "Step lively now." He helped the cats jump onto the back of the truck and then said goodbye. But as the truck started to drive away, Marie fell off of it. O'Malley grabbed her and leaped back on. "Thank you, Mr. O'Malley, for saving my life," she said. "No trouble at all, little princess," he replied. Down the road, O'Malley whipped the cover off a giant container of cream. "Breakfast!" he cried. But the driver caught sight of them in the rearview mirror and got angry. The cats raced off of the truck, hurried through some tall grass, and ran up to a bridge with railroad tracks. They began to walk across. "Be careful, children," Duchess called to her kittens. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. Woo-woo! A train was coming right towards them. Quickly, O'Malley pulled everyone onto a tiny platform beneath the tracks. They huddled together, holding on tightly as the train rumbled by. but as the bridge shook, Marie fell into the river below. "Keep your head up," O'Malley called. "Here I come." He dove into the water and gently pushed the kitten onto a log. Duchess leaped to the ground, then onto a branch that was hanging over the water. When the log floated past, O'Malley carefully tossed Marie over to Duchess. He had saved the day once again. That night, the cats reached the outskirts of Paris. "The kids are bushed," O'Malley said to Duchess. He led them to his place for some rest. The abandoned house was old and run down, a world away from Madame's mansion. Suddenly, music blared from the broken windows. O'Malley's friends were inside. "Maybe we better find another place," the alley cat said. But Duchess didn't care how different everything was. It was all new and excited, and she was certain O'Malley's friends would be just as nice as he was. She entered a large room where a group of alley cats were playing piano, trumpet, bass, and accordion. The room shook and furniture bounced. Soon, Duchess and her kittens were dancing to the jazz music and having the time of their lives. Duchess looked around. She'd never met such cats or heard such music, and she'd never had such a dear friend. Later, Duchess tucked the kittens into bed. She and O'Malley climbed out to the roof and looked up at the stars. "Your eyes are like sapphires," he told her again. This time he wasn't just sweet-talking, he meant it. "And all those little kittens," he curled his tail around hers. "Duchess, I love him." He took a deep breath. "They need a father around." "Oh, darling," Duchess sighed. She explained that she really wanted to stay with him, but that they needed to return to Madame. O'Malley leaned close to Duchess. "I guess you know best, but I'm gonna miss you." He paused. "And those kids, too." In the morning, O'Malley walked the cats home. "I'll never forget you," Duchess told him tearfully. "So long, baby." The alley cat padded away. Just then, Edgar opened the door. He was surprised to see the cats again. Seconds later, he threw a sack over them and carried them to the barn. Then he tossed them in a trunk bound for Timbuktu. Roquefort, the cat's mouse friend, saw everything. He raced after O'Malley. "Duchess, kittens, in trouble!" he cried breathlessly. O'Malley sent the mouse to get the alley cats, and then he raced toward the barn. O'Malley pounced on Edgar, and the two tumbled about. The butler tried to run away, but Frau the horse had him by the coattails. Then Edgar's coat ripped and he was free. The butler and O'Malley faced off on either side of the trunk. Just when Edgar seemed to be winning, O'Malley's friends burst into the barn. One dropped a harness over Edgar, and another tossed a bucket on his head. Roquefort quickly unlocked the trunk. O'Malley lifted the lid, and Duchess and her kittens jumped to safety. Then Frau kicked Edgar, who tumbled into the empty trunk. The lid slammed shut, and the cat slid the trunk outside just as the mail truck arrived. "This one goes all the way to Timbuktu," the driver announced. He loaded the trunk onto his truck, and just like that, Edgar was gone. Duchess and O'Malley looked at one another. After everything they'd been through, they couldn't bear to be apart. They meant too much to each other. Madame understood. She was thrilled to have her beloved cats back and welcomed O'Malley into the family. And they lived happily ever after. I hope you liked this story, boys and girls. It reminds me of my own cats because they are definitely the princesses of the house. And they would just love to get dressed up and have their picture taken like these little cats over here. I'm wondering, boys and girls, do you like kitties? I'd love to hear from you. Bye-bye.